Good morning, dear friends. Friends in the Dharma. Friends in awakening to love. Sound is okay? Question mark? Good. I'm Robert Beatty. I'm coming to you from eastern Beaverton, Portland, Oregon. It's the 27th of July. Who would have thought it would be the 27th of July so quickly? I think it's day 60 of the protests here in Portland. I made a journey down to the protest last night. I'll share a little bit of that. Had a marvelous conversation with a man there last night. But let us follow our usual order of service. I have a slightly longer poem this morning. I'm just going to read it once. It's called Prelude by Oriah Mountain Dreamer. What if it truly doesn't matter what you do, but how you do whatever you do? What if you could be more present and open-hearted with each person you encounter, working as a cashier in the corner store, a parking lot attendant or filing clerk, than you could if you were striving to do something you think of as more important? How would this change how you want to spend your precious time on this earth? What if your contribution to the world and the fulfillment of your own happiness is not dependent upon discovering a better method of prayer or technique of meditation? Not dependent upon reading the right book or attending the right seminar, but upon really seeing and deeply appreciating yourself and the world as they are right now? How would this affect your search for spiritual development? What if there's no need to change, no need to try and transform yourself into someone who is more compassionate, more present, more loving, or wise? How would this affect all the places in your life where you are endlessly trying to be better? What if the task is simply to unfold, to become who you already are in your essential nature, gentle, compassionate, and capable of living fully and passionately present? How would this affect how you feel when you wake up in the morning? What if who you essentially are right now What if who you essentially are right now is all you're ever going to be? How would this affect how you feel about your future? What if the essence of who you are has always been enough? How would this affect how you see and feel about your past? What if the question is not, why am I so infrequently the person I really want to be, but why do I so infrequently want to be the person I really am? How would this change what you think you have to learn? What if becoming who and what we truly are happens not through striving and trying, but by recognizing and receiving the people and places and practices that offer us the warmth and encouragement we need to unfold? How would this shape the choices you have to make about how to spend today? What if you knew that the impulse to move in a way that creates beauty in the world will arise from deep within and guide you every time you simply pay attention and wait? How would this shape your stillness, your movement, your willingness to follow this impulse and just let go and dance? It's Monday morning, a morning like every other morning. We wake up. Yes, I will do my best to remember to post that poem to the email list. Portland Connections. If you want to be on that list, look on the website. You can do it there. Or write an email to avi@portlandinsight.org and request that. So once again, we wake up. In what shall we take refuge today? Before we know it, it'll be nighttime. And then it'll be morning again tomorrow. I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sangaya, slightly out of order. Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya. Dharma, I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya. Now Sangha, I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya. I take refuge in being awake, in the cultivation of mindfulness, concentration and love and compassion. And I do this in the company of my beloved friends on the path, in the company of those who've gone before us and awakened, and in the company of all beings. All beings. It's quite a thing when we wish may all beings be happy. May all beings be free from greed, hatred, and ignorance. That's a big prayer. So let's sit. What if it's really true that already, always, we have been this separate identity, this separate birth, and the great ocean out of which we come, the great mystery out of which we emerge. That we've always been both. We are now both. To have an inkling of that then changes our practice, because we're just settling back into the present moment. Settling back into experiencing being a body. Experiencing a body as our vehicle for this lifetime. Each breath, since that first breath, when your mother could no longer breathe for you, each breath has a beginning. It has a rising to fullness, and then it has a decline. And then it has a vanishing. Likely you notice that the mind wanders. But let's not make a problem of that. That's like making a problem out of changing weather. This moment is like this. It's exactly as it is. And there's a certain amount of concentration, a certain amount of mindfulness. There may well be the 5 hindrances: desire, wanting, aversion, disliking, pushing away, anger. There may be restlessness and agitation and worry. Or there may be sleepy dullness, thickness of mind. Or there may be doubt. Why am I doing this? Does this work? There may be emotions. there's also this wonderful home base baseline. Breathing in, breathing out. Noticing how the body breathes itself. What if being present for this moment just as it is is enough? The question then arises, how is this moment? What is this moment? What does consciousness reveal in this moment? There is breathing in and breathing out. There are the activities of mind. There is memory as the mind creates a past, and there could be worry or planning as the mind creates an imagined future. There is such great relaxation in abiding here now, this breath has a beginning. It's not something we need to grab or get tense about. The sun rises in the morning at a certain predictable time. The moon goes through its phases. Babies are born, we live our lifetimes, and then we die. People come into our lives and then leave. Pets come into our lives and leave. What's left but to take refuge in the reality of this moment? To bring love, there's room for everything, and compassion, we attend to the suffering that we encounter. And all there ever is right now. Instead of unconsciously identifying with every thought and mood and impulse that comes through, we practice being in that mystery of awareness. So thoughts arise with awareness. These are profound steps of freedom. To not take our thoughts as true or personal. To free ourselves from blind ideologies and unconscious attitudes. Biases of all kinds. To free ourselves from the stories we carry about childhood and life and others. To be free to live now, in this in-breath and this out-breath. If discomfort arises in the body, we simply notice it briefly and then come back to breathing. If discomfort persists, we turn toward that discomfort and embrace it. Notice the tensions, notice the fears, notice the story. There's always some discomfort in the body, and as we age, it increases. Things break down. Muscles and tendons stiffen up. This makes the call to awakening ever more intent. Pay attention. Notice that the consolation prizes of life really are not very satisfying. But being loving and compassionate and awake are pretty sweet. And from this place of open receptivity and vipassana consciousness, vipassana is an elegant word that means perceiving things as they truly are. Seeing clearly. And to cultivate, to reveal in ourselves the Brahma Viharas, the abodes of the gods, love, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. I invite you to reflect for a moment upon these truths. I am of the nature to age. I've not gone beyond aging. I am of the nature to sicken, to fall ill. I've not gone beyond sickness. Is this true? I am of the nature to die. I've not gone beyond dying. Is this true? All that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will become otherwise. Is this true? I've not gone beyond saying goodbye to everything. I'm the owner of my intentional actions, my karma. Heir to my karma, born of my karma, abide supported by my karma. Whatever karma I shall do, of this I shall be the heir. Is this true? Thus should we frequently recollect, said the Buddha. And recognizing this, how could we not love ourselves? Hold ourselves in great kindness. This moment, this day is all we have. So why not be kind to ourselves? And think of a loved one. Is there some way today you might articulate, speak, act your gratitude for this person? For these fleeting moments that get to be in your life? And it's in this way that we open our hearts to wish freedom, happiness to all beings. To the very powerful, to the very wealthy, to the people who have lost their way in wealth and power, to the homeless, to the weak, to the dying, to the sick, to the most vulnerable people on the earth, to all species with shrinking environments and populations, species that are prolific, In a way, we simply soften back into the present moment, and there we all are. May all beings share in the merits of our practice. And now, please, bringing awareness into the entire body. It's alive, isn't it? Awareness and livingness. And into the face and the eyes. Notice the intention to open the eyes and then let them open. More accurately, make the effort to peel back the eyelids and observe seeing as it occurs. Seeing. Well, I am most grateful for your coming to join in practice this morning. I'm giggling because, Debbie, I think your cat is trying to learn how to type. There it is, the typing cat. Cute. Very cute. So I have several announcements, very simple. One is that time is passing, and on Saturday, Kendall Summers and I will be offering a retreat of sort from 9 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, a time to do some hours of practice. And you can find that on the website. Also, my book is out. The book, Mindfulness for a Happy Life. That also is on the website. You can purchase it in several different places that are indicated there. And PIMC will happily help you to develop your capacity to act generously by ideally receiving a monthly contribution. But think about it. If these broadcasts are helpful to you, then please help them be available for all beings and others. And then I have a little sharing I'd like to make about my adventure last night. I was drawn to go to the protests again. Pretty early. There weren't very many people there at first. I guess 8 o'clock I got there. Anyway, I wandered amongst the crowd and was enjoying people watching. And at a certain point, my low back got sore, and I looked for a place to sit, and I found a park bench in the park across from the Justice Center, and at one end there was an African American man sitting there, and as I approached, I indicated and I said, "You mind if I share your seat?" And he was very welcoming, and we wound up having an extraordinary conversation. I showed him my pictures from the Whitney plantation, the monument to racism to slavery in west of New Orleans, and we shed a few tears together, and it was really sweet. And at a certain point, I had my hand on top of his hands, and we were really two brothers sitting there talking about love and the purpose of life, actually. It's really nice. And I stayed another half an hour or so, and then I came home. But I was wondering when I went down, why am I going? You know, I want to show support, but what's in this for me, sort of? Why? And that encounter was as beautiful and extraordinary and ordinary as I could hope for in my life. So on top of there was also a shoot. There were a couple of gunshots in that area last night before I got there. Because there's crazy people. There's people that are violent, and mental illness is a real thing. But I'm glad I went. So that's what I have to share this morning. I invite your open-hearted participation and sharing anything you would like to, if there is something. Simply unmute yourself, and I'd like a better word than unmute. It's like unfreeze or something. Unmute. We couldn't say turn yourself on, because that would be really bad.
Raise your voice.
Turn on your microphone. Raise your voice. Hey, Tim, good job. Dave, are you wanting to come aboard?
Yes, I am.
Come on in.
Thanks. I also was called to go down to the Justice Center last night.
Ah.
I live not far from downtown. I work downtown. I go to a gym downtown. It's been part of my daily routine to walk across that park and enjoy the green in the middle of the city for years now. And it was a little bit disorienting to be there last night, a little after dark. Not only is the elk gone, but the fountain in the middle of the street where the elk stands on Main is a bit of gravel. And in the park south of there used to be a statue of a pioneer father, a pioneer mother, and a pioneer child. That statue's gone. And at first I was going, this looks weird, what's different? The drinking fountain has been removed, and also all the benches from that park are gone. So instead of green grass and concrete paths, there's dust and dirt, and it's a different experience. So my call to go there was about stepping away from denial and seeing things as they actually are. So I look forward to going back on more evenings for short times to see that and interact with more people and find out for my own self what it's like to be there, what's important to me about that. I hope this helps.
Thanks, Dave.
Robert.
Hello,
Robert.
Tim.
Hi. I have a practice that I go to a traffic circle with Black Lives Matter signs for an hour a day. And that's been really, really interesting. And I think it's been interesting in terms of the Dharma for me. A lot of people come by and honk and wave and smile, and it's very sweet. And a certain percentage of people in an hour's time, anywhere between 2 and 5 or 6, come by and give me the finger or shout something unpleasant and intentionally hurtful at me. And all these are just fleeting moments because they're all in passing cars. If you slow down, you can't slow down. Everybody just zips past. It's so like life. And the negative ones, of course, make more of an impression. I suppose that's that neurological thing. Velcro for negative or whatever. But it's just interesting to process them, to process the hate that's strong. I can't just blow it off.
Uh-huh.
You know.
So the hate projected at you affects you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It hurts my heart. It hits me.
Yeah.
It's it, and it's washed away mostly by the next 12 people that come by and honk and smile and wave and say thank you.
Yeah, isn't that interesting and wonderful?
It's an interesting process.
Yeah, great practice.
They say if you throw, people used to say this all the time, if you throw a bucket of red paint against a wall, then it takes 20 coats of white paint to cover it up.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of like that. One person that comes by and gives me the finger, it takes 20 people to come by and smile and wave to make my heart stop beating quickly again. It's interesting.
Well, the fight-flight response is about biochemistry and getting prepared to fight or flee or freeze. And so it would take a little while for the heart rate to go down and biochemistry for the adrenaline and norepinephrine and all those excitatory chemicals to be processed out. It makes sense that it would take a little while.
Sometimes I think how vulnerable I am.
Yeah.
Sitting there.
Well, you are vulnerable.
Yeah.
And you're a human.
And ain't we all?
And you're a human being who allows yourself to be vulnerable and to let it show. And I love that about you.
That's intentional.
Robert, this is Had.
I have.
Neuropsychologist Rick Hansen says that our minds are Teflon for the positive experience, Teflon for the Velcro for the negative experience, and Teflon for the good experience.
Yeah.
So as Tim was saying, we need to consciously bring in the good and make it happen. So I want to acknowledge the courage it takes to stand up and make that happen, and to be with the positive and bring it forth, to hold it.
Thank you, Hadley.
Robert, it's Russell.
Russell, good morning.
Good morning. As Tim was speaking, all I could think of is my brothers and sisters of color who have the reverse in their experience. They have constant fingers, belittling, demeaning, and small amounts of love and acceptance along the way. And I thought, my God, what would that do to you over time? And not very much time. So I appreciate the perspective that Tim brought to this. It really made me think about it and how I can have more the kind of experience you did. That's it.
Thanks, buddy.
Hi, Robert. I'm Sandra. Can you hear me?
Yes. Tima, hi.
Okay. Hi. I have it, and I'm thrilled, and I'm savoring every word. So
great.
I just want to tell you that.
Yay.
And also, I've been Tim, you're speaking spoke to me because I've been walking a lot and on a beautiful trail, and I've been seeing a tree and a beautiful willow, and recently I've just been called to stop and sit and do my meditation practice there, and it's been great because I get to observe all my reactions to everybody walking by. And yesterday there was a couple walking by, and the man, I heard him say, "What have we got here?" About me sitting under the tree. And
That's funny.
And the person that he was walking with, she turned and said, "Well, that looks quite lovely. You know, she's in a great spot." And he sort of like took it in and was like, "Huh," you know, and kept walking. So I just wanted to share that I do think it makes a difference to go out into the world and bring our practice and, you know, show that it's okay to just be and sitting and it's very, very interesting, the reactions that it brings forth. And I find it very useful. So, yeah.
Thanks, Timma. Have a short, funny story. When in 1979, when I came to Portland and married my first wife and began that journey, we bought a house near Lewis and Clark College, and I started teaching little one-day retreats. I'd been at a retreat center in California for 5 years, and there was no other meditation happening that I could find in Portland. So anyway, people came to our home, and at lunchtime, we would send them out to do, it was a suburban street, no sidewalks, and we'd send people out to do walking meditation outside. But it didn't occur to me to say, don't do the slow zombie meditation, the slow zombie walking, the lifting, moving places. And 3 years later or 4 years later, we were invited to the annual street Christmas celebration sort of thing. And we found out that the people on the street were terrified of us because they thought we were doing some kind of a strange cult, and we had these completely mind-controlled zombies. So I propose that when doing walking meditation in public, don't do the super slow. Be a pensive person strolling. Funny. Thanks. It's getting warm in my tent. It's time. The sun's on the tent.
Robert, it's Linnell.
Hello, Linnell.
I also have a small announcement. I bought your book,
Well, great. I hope you like it.
and I understand there's a launch party tomorrow, so I just want to mention that to people.
Yeah, that's right. And again, the information went out on the email list.
I'm planning on being there.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you. I wish we could say there will be hors d'oeuvres, and but we can't do that. So I don't know what we'll do really, but we'll be there. Maybe we'll sit a little bit and sing the precept or the refuges. That'd be novel.
I love taking refuge.
It is. It's a very sweet thing, isn't it? And if you happen to buy the book on Amazon, write a review. Please.
Robert, this is Jim.
Jim, hello.
I've got, I think, a non-zombie walking meditation experience.
I see.
Yesterday, I believe was Sunday, and I didn't tune into the 7 a.m. show because it wasn't on. And but after my sitting meditation, I went for a walk around the neighborhood, and I don't know if I thought I was doing walking meditation or not, but it was very early in the morning. Nobody was awake, and I was still in sort of a altered state. And what was interesting for me is I noticed all the flowers and trees on my walk, and it was like I hadn't seen them before. And I realized what I'd been looking at before were the houses for some reason, the houses and the cars and the possessions and things like that. And what a delight it was to notice all of these flowers and plants and bushes and trees almost for the first time.
Nice.
That's the story.
Thank you. I just did a quick count on my fingers. It's 9 days until the Tough Shed arrives. Pretty amazing. Thanks to all of you, and thank you, Alicia. I haven't seen you here, but what an amazing thing to have happen. I continue to do little preparatory things, and Francine, I'll try calling you this morning and we'll talk about your landscaping ideas.
Yes, please do. I'm gone Tuesday, Wednesday, but towards the end of the week or the weekend, I keep planning this in my head, but given that I haven't seen the site,
yeah, might help, huh? Okay, I'll be in touch today. I believe I have your contact info.
Yeah, please do. All right, anytime.
Well, it's 8 o'clock Pacific Daylight Savings Time. Anybody sitting with or on something, anything in your heart that wants to burst out and be shared? Remember, it doesn't have to be earth-shaking or somehow super duper, just what's important to you. Do we have any kids? Not the kids in the grown-ups, but kids this morning? I don't know that we do. In which case, let's end with that beautiful Sufi practice, one of the 101 beautiful names of God in Islam, Ya Shakur. And in the Ya Shakur practice, when we meet another person, we fill our hands with the love in our hearts and look at them closely and say, Ya Shakur. And the common translation is, how exquisitely God is manifesting to me in this moment as you. It's a really fine way to go through the world. You can do this secretly as well with people. And if the God word is somehow sticks, be sure to let our symbols be transparent to the transcendent. Let's not get stuck on the word. We could may how exquisitely the mystery is manifesting in this moment to me as you. And so let's do that mindfully 6 times, just quiet on, and I think I will unmute us all. So, Ya Shakur, we'll do it 6 times in unison as best we can. Ya Shakur. And look at one of the pictures on the screen and experience it with that person. Ya Shakur. Ya Shakur. Ya Shakur. Twice more. Ya Shakur. Ya Shakur. Thank you, dear friends. Have a blessed day, and I look forward to being with you tomorrow in practice. Goodbye. Have a lovely day.
Bye.
How satisfying.
Delightful.
Here we go. Goodbye, dear friends on Facebook and YouTube. I hope this is useful and lightens your day.